Now tonight, those of you who are first time, those who just type 2 there, do join our Telegram chat room. We have a lot of stock free market information that will get you up into speed, and that definitely will put you into advantages compared to most people in here. And not to forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel in here. All our video archive, including stock market beginner level, are available on our YouTube channel /TradeVSA. So make sure you check it out in there and click on subscribe in here. Of course, not to forget is our smart Robie apps. That's the one on your mobile phone in here. It is available on the KLCI and also on the Google Play Store. And if you do share this with your friends, especially those of you may find that this is a good opportunity. Right now, we are opening the US market, the S&P 500, and you also notice we have the SGX too. So a way for you to expand out. And of course, if you have friends in US and in Singapore, let them find out about this app, and if they use it, you get a 200 credit when you share with your friends. Of course, ongoing is our best stock trade idea so far from Smart Robie in here. We have a couple of submissions in here, and those, congratulations to Mei Hui, who have won a 50 ringgit voucher from Grab, and as well as stand a chance to make it for an iPad here. That's right, a beautiful iPad in here waiting for you just to submit your best stock trade idea. Just do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope to see some of you submitting and at least get a chance to win that 50 ringgit, which we have a lot more to give out. Really, come on guys, people, all right, ladies, submit your best stock trade idea in here. All right, it's not as bad as you think. All right, now let's take a look at what's really happened in the market, just to give you some sort of a background flow and perspective to where we are. Looking back five weeks ago, okay, 5 weeks ago, where the stock market, that's right, the stock market hasn't been doing very well. They were really pinning a lot of greater hopes on in here. And if you think of it, you know, Dow Jones continued to, you know, creeping slowly. We will look at the charts inside here, creeping in here, but Bursa has not gone anywhere. And then Powell this week, June 1st, all right, June 1st, our Malaysian go to a complete full lockdown, MCO 3.0. As such, the market really reacted to it, but did it so? We will look at the charts later in here. So in the same time, there's a lot of talk about whether Bursa can go above the 1600 level in here, which is that level that we've seen, the 1600 as well as 1620. That's a level we wanted to break. Of course, once that level is broken up, then we will have more people coming in. I think part of the process, I think many of you will enjoy, as well as me enjoy teaching you, it's understanding the process, how the stock market works. And tonight it's no different too. What to buy, what to invest below 10,000 ringgit and $10,000, because we're looking at two markets tonight. So make sure you join me towards the end of this talk. We'll be looking at the US market. Now at the same time, we were talking about MCO 3.0. As such, that the government beginning to dish a lot of this, what we call new funds, economic stimulus, and it didn't stop just that. With the MCO 3.0, there were talks about another 40 billion being added in to the 380 billion. So the first question to really come out is that Permakasa, you can see on the top right hand side, let me just get my laser pointer here. Right, this is what we talk about, the 40 billion in here on top of 300, that's almost 400. Then the question you may ask is, where do we have that kind of money? All right, of course the government, you may not worry about it. They will be issuing sukuk bonds, which is highly in demand by many of, because the government very seldom fail to deliver or never, you know, what we call default on their bonds or obligation in here. So that definitely is a plus for most people in here, the bonds. So what does that mean? That means our physical deficits will continue to will continue to worsen. We used to be around 3.3, now we've gone up to 6% of our GDP. Of course, debt to GDP has also gone up. But having said that, as well as I've said early this morning on our breakfast show, many countries continue to use debt as a way to finance many of their projects, especially in the COVID-19 in here, to get them out. All right, not only our country, many other not so strong companies continue to issue debt. But what does that mean? That simply means the money that is actually been put out by the government need to go back into the people to stimulate the economy, get the money moving, and when money moves, people start buying. That's where you see the stock market goes up. Is that the truth? well, you should know about this, and also pencil in if you do not understand this full relationship about how the money flows and that actually push it. So this is important part and parcel of our market here. All right, we do have a couple of questions in here. LKR, FMCO. Yep, sure. All right, now let's look on to the next part, which is very important. Is many people did ask the question, why shouldn't or why couldn't our KLCI market go lower? Now this is an extract from a star paper about banking stocks inside here. If you do notice, one of the big component of our KLCI, which is the 30 stocks, right, is the banking stock, which you have 6 of them, right? Public Bank, Maybank, what else? CIMB Bank. If you add on Public Bank, Maybank, and CIMB Bank, that is almost 20%. That is why today the hot sector, it's finance. I think my colleague Zac also covered this 2 days ago in one of the evening session here about the banks. You know, even despite with MC 3.0, the banks are moving up in here. That is also in tandem. If you look straight to the US sector, now go over to Smart Robie hot sector, you'll see that is also moving. So a lot of time our country, Malaysia, actually picks up where US has left off. That actually they get the direction from there. So from this chart in here, you can see we got the banks, the healthcare. If you notice the bank and the healthcare, that's almost a 33% plus a 14%, 33 and 14, that's almost 49% of our KLCI composite is depending on healthcare. Today on the healthcare, I'm going to show you later on how the healthcare will fare, and these are the normal things that I actually look at. How will the market, it can sustain this? The market's not going to break down and go any lower. Having said that, because if you look at the remaining of it, we got industrial good, there is only 3 of them, 5 on food and beverages, which is about 11.8%. So that's pretty much sums up about our KLCI. But if you look at it, Public Bank, Maybank, Tenaga, Top Glove, CIMB, Petronas, Press Metal, Axiata, Sam Darby, IH, they represent almost 60% of our weighting. Public Bank being the heaviest. I still remember Maybank used to be the one, but Maybank has sort of given that baton to Public Bank, and Public Bank to be the. Do why I say this makes sense or not? All right. So this is a point where many of you who are beginner kind of understand the mechanics, the component of our KLCI, and definitely understanding this will put you straight ahead with the other groups. Now, let's also not forget is the accumulation that we have seen right now. Now, if you notice, this is the foreign fund flows, and usually the foreign fund flows, it is a package of our trade BSA. You can get it to our plugin, something that is very important, and this is what we call the KLCI leading indicator. Okay, the leading indicator. Now, take note of the blue line here. The blue line here is our CI. You notice our market actually slammed down here. That was due to the MCO that was going to share, but the market could not go lower, right? Because usually that's market tend to react. But guess what? Do you notice this green bar here? What is this green bar? Now, this green bar are foreign fund flow, net fund flow. So the foreign funds, net fund flows are coming in. If you notice where we have this outflow here, then the market what? See this outflow that happens 1 or 2 weeks, then we got this market going down. Right now we have this foreign fund flowing in. So FF, foreign funds is easing heavily entering the KLCI market. So what that's going to translate to, right? So it's no mistakes that how we are able to, put one-on-one together, all right, and able to see that this evening the market actually went up by 12 points because foreign funds are coming back in. So having said that, then the question is, what is going to happen to the smaller caps? Now, generally, all they have to do is just to prop up the banking stocks and the healthcare stocks, and once that thing has been propped up slowly, the rest of the retail is going to come in, which is the rest of your friends and colleagues going to come in, but you are already in itself. So an understanding about the foreign funds flows inside. So this is a continuous education and program that we felt that it's important for many of you to understand this and to able to judge why we are where we are. Of course, we also want to extend our reach just beyond the KLCI market to other market exchange too. Now let's look at our KLCI now. Remember last week we have this big falling here, but such the market actually pushed back, and today we are touching 1597, almost 3 points short of 1600. No doubt about it, 1600 is the what we call the resistance. That's where it's going to have a lot of resistance inside there. But I do feel that the bull just above me here is back. Okay, now how many of you feel that the bull is back? If the bull is back, just type in BULL. Okay, I'm bullish, to be frank with you. Of course, it's not the kind of trend starting to move up. We are still in the congestion stage inside here. No doubt if the finance continue to be bullish and you have the healthcare holding up in here, then we will see some sustainably into the market in here. Okay, the market is supported at 15.60 and ready to test the 1600 resistance level in here. Great. I see some of you already turning bullish. Now it's very important that you need to look at the overall charts to tell you how the perception should be, not so much on what you read on newspaper, because they generally be slower. That's why chart reading is so important, and we're having a VSA expert US to be sharing with us. I think you all know who we are talking about. Dr. Gary Gayton will be here with us on the 26th of June in here to share with us his well-found knowledge about the US market, and all this information is on our Smart Robie apps in here. Okay, let's move on to the breakdown of our KLCI component, which is, I think, fairly important. So in here you could see the 12 points were actually contributed by financial services, the RHB banks, the CIMB bank 2%. The only public bank hasn't run yet. Now the question is, will public bank start to move up higher? All right, so that seems to be going to be that question. So Dialog, all the banks are doing pretty well in here, and very little, we haven't seen much of it, and they are all starting to turn all green. You can see that LT is green. None of them are actually purple yet, with the exception purple means they are really in nice momentum, with the exception of CMA. So we are still in the early stages. That's right, very early stages in here. Perhaps I did talk about some of these stocks that you can get it below 10,000 ringgit in here. All right, now let's look at the next attention is our hot sectors. Where were we last week and what is it right now? So you notice last week is the bar just next to the right hand side in the segregated in the set, and last week you can see finance was not that bullish and it's turning more bullish. Technology was bearish, and this was the big flip. Technology flipping over here, healthcare from a very negative flipping right just above here. So there's a lot of flipping from negative to positive for healthcare, negative to positive for technology, and will we see an increasing uptick on the finance? Definitely from a sector in here. Again, this is part of the package in here, important for you to have. Hot sector, of course, you can also check it out from our Smart Robie calling hot sectors to know those relevant stock, and we're going to be showing you shortly on using the live trading in here. All right, and of course let's move along also to the US side. So right now on the US, the market did close below the ATR stop loss, and the market now is sort of like going up there, or lots of selling. You can see as the last 3 days there was uptrust. Now it's important that if the market were to go up, it need to break out that 34,000, 35,000, then the green pentagon would come in. So right now you can see the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is talking a lot about inflation, right? Inflation is coming. She say no, but we know that the fact this inflation has spread to many countries, including also in Korea. That's right, including also Korea, and they are trying to adjust. Now inflation is actually a good thing because the economy right now is recovering. A lot of things has gone up. The petrol prices has gone up. I think the US crude oil is going to hit $70 in here. The metals has gone up too. Even the gold, which is an inflation hedge, usually when inflation goes up, gold will also goes up too. That's always been the case inside there. And right now, this little Treasury Secretary just said that don't panic, right? If there's a correction. So right now, even if you've seen the minor correction that we've seen so far, the market hitting 34,000 on the top right hand side chart that you can see in here, it's actually a good opportunity to buy more. And how do we know that? Just use the pentagon. And in many way, I do think it is similar to the KLCI side. A lot of buying opportunity. Market still trending up inside here. Of course, you don't want to be at the end of the year and then finally realize, hey, the market's gone up, I didn't do anything. But this is part and parcel of the show. You know, when you come in, you sit and you watch through, you know, the different months in here. But some of you are quite new. You just happen to walk into the cinema and you happen to be at the, you know, 3/4 of the show, or maybe hopefully not end of the year. Then you'll probably miss out the big year of this good. I think that's the picture we're trying to paint here to ensure that you're able to follow this on a more sequenced way. Now let's focus, drill down to stocks to invest with 10,000 and US dollar after the market update that I've given you. So this is what usually we call a small account trading, or what's there to buy. Now what do you see in this picture here? All right, what is it like? Now this is a picture of a boat in the sea. All right, usually a boat in the sea, it's normal, but look what's behind it. So a boat is very small compared to the big wave that is behind it, and that is the big wave. Now, before we go into the kind of stocks I'm going to talk about, it's important, I want to address from my experience, especially when I first started off with 10,000 ringgit. To be frank with you, it is what you see on the picture on that side in here. Do you think this pretty much sum up everything? The big wave and that little boat here. Your boat is so small compared to the humongous wave that is coming in. So that's why a lot of time when you are a small boat in the big sea, and when there's a big storm like what they had last year, right, what happened to your account when you're out? You get demolished, right? You couldn't stay on. And if your boat, especially your system, has a lot of hole at the bottom of the boat, you got a lot of holes. You can't even sail at all. You will be sunk right to the bottom of the ocean. And it's important, we want to address this first, so you are able to tighten up some of the processes, tighten up some of the stocks, so you're able to survive and not let that big ocean. But you want to be like this guy here, right? What is up there? That's right, that is a big cruise boat, right? I think some of you may have gone to a big cruise boat in here. I think Genting Group definitely has many of these very luxurious tour group, and right now we haven't seen that yet. All right, so this big boat is definitely something you want to compare, right? So big boat is like, you've been catered like with us, with Trade BSA, that feeling is very similar to the big cruiser in here. Now if you are untrained, you do it all by yourself, you'll be the guy on the left hand side, that this big wave can come and swallow you. So when you are traveling the ocean, just like when you are in the stock market, which one do you choose? The small boat or the big boat like the cruiser, right? Definitely the answer is very, very obvious, right? So what is it like? Now let's move on to the next scenario here. We have this little young man, and usually, 10,000 is when I was this young man, out there. How much can I make from $10,000? What do you think? All right, type it in there. What do you think? How much money can I make from 10,000 ringgit? All right. Right. Of course, with a small amount, many of us tend to have very big idea, right? Very, very big idea. And of course, we hope to double it. I have $10,000. Why would I waste my time in the stock market if I can't double it or at least make another 5,000? So these are the kind of mentality, from the look of this very young man here. And I was a bit like him too, on the young man up there. And many of us gone through that, especially those of you who are viewing tonight. This may be a life-changing sharing that I'm doing in here to share with you my experience in not. So make sure you don't have this kind of mentality, a gambler mindset, or hantam only. In the Malaysian context, we always call that hantam only, just whack only. Okay, it's all or nothing. And $10,000 is a fair, it's a very expensive kind of investment too. $10,000, especially right now, can buy you a lot of things in here. It's not just 100 ringgit, it's about 10,000. So we want to move away from the gambler mindset. Okay, very important, because the gambler mindset is either all or nothing or hantam only in here, because the context where we're going for is strictly from a very educational standpoint. We want to get you up in the right speed. So of course, Sun Tzu, we always bring in Sun Tzu. Alright, and who is Sun Tzu? Sun Tzu is a very famous general way back in the China, in the during the Three Kingdom period in here. And why we talk about that is he always talk about Sun Tzu understanding yourself, and if you understand yourself and your enemy, 1,000 battle will be won. Now, who is your enemy in here in this context? Remember just now we talk about what? We talk about the gambler mindset, isn't it, right? So that is actually you and yourself is the enemy. So a lot of time I want to bring in this context in here, so to remind us that who is our enemy. And if you know how you behave, then you have a very good chance to see that the battle can be won. And I hope this message resonates well with you, because I always talk about the psychology in here. Now, right or not, our brain here, we have the left brain and the right brain. At the same time, with $10,000, I know, you may have more, but there is always this thing called being risk-taking, where you want to have this really fantasy-based, with $10,000, I can make 100,000. Now, remember, early on, we even talk about Bitcoin, isn't it, right? We have some way back in March, we were talking about Bitcoin able to go up to 60,000 or 100,000 in here, but it did not materialize, right? Because we have to set our risk level. We need to know our plan in here. That's where the left brain, right? You look at the rationality, objectivity, and it's more of a reality base. I do know some people, when the Bitcoin was doing so well around the 45, 50,000, they sell everything out, okay, and muscle everything on Bitcoin. What happened to those fellas, right? I think right now they'll be scared out of it, right? So the whole point is that we want to balance well between the left brain, which is a lot of the logical, rational thinking, and the right brain in here. And once you're able to do that, you have a very sound mind. So those are the things I want to talk about it before you even address the 10,000. And like it or not, 10,000 ringgit is like a throw into the sea. Just like throwing salt to the sea, no one will ever feel pity about it. All right, keep in mind with that. So before a trader can do this, he can buy here, just like this is all that's what we call location, right? Buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. You win all the time. What do you need? What does it take to do that? Now, keep in mind, I want you guys to think about this. Keep in mind, what do you need to do, for you to buy here, sell here, buy here, sell, buy here, and sell here, right? Because when you're coming with 10,000 ringgit, what is the thing that you need? So you want to grow from, at least the first target is to grow, all right, from 10,000 to 20,000, 20,000 to 50,000 without losing money all the process. That's usually what the goal is. Now 10,000 ringgit, as I said before, if you don't do it well, you can lose it all. But this is the steady path that we wanted to go up. 10,000, 20,000, and then 50,000 ringgit. All right. So keep in mind, that's what we wanted to do. Whether it is successful, at least you need to act on consistently having a plan. Just like, I want to go, let's say when we end this COVID-19, you're able to go on a holiday, you want to go to Japan, you need to plan your holiday, right? You know, when you reach Tokyo, then where you want to go next and next. And in many ways, it's very similar. More people will take time to plan their holiday than planning about a trading plan. And why is that? Because holiday is leisure. Trading is very logical and very tedious, but it can be achieved. It can be achieved. You can do this moving from 10,000 to 20,000 to 50,000. And right now, we are doing that right now using our Pentagon trader in here. So let's look at, I'm going to introduce this very great framework. It's called STEC framework. It's a new method, it's a new mindset, very suitable for small account trading system. So we're going to go through it part by part, bit by bit. I think that is where the lesson learned for you this evening in here. So we're going to be doing 4 things, right? Definitely we'll be looking at the strategy, just like you're climbing the mountain in here. What is the strategy to do? What kind of method you're doing? Now I would assume many of you, some of you who are from masterclass, we take care of you, but many of you who are not our masterclass, you may follow us a bit from our breakfast show as well, following Zac and our stock review. You don't have a systematic method. Adopt this STEC. All right, take a photo of this, and that's good. So we're going to be going quadrant by quadrant so you understand fully in here. All right, so the first one is definitely strategy. What sort of strategy are you going to intend to grow your money from 10,000 to 20,000? What kind of tools, just like in doctors, just like in order to fight the COVID-19, we have vaccine, isn't it, right? We will fight the COVID, we have PPE, we have face mask, and very similar to make them from 10,000 to 20,000 here, we need to have the tools. All right, then after the tools, we need to get our training, right, which is our education. And this is many of you who, especially the masterclass, who has been following me a fair bit, you know that we've been mentoring you to ensure there is a fail-safe environment. How do we do that? And then finally, the capital. with the 10,000 ringgit. I'm sure at one point in time, when you are successful, you want to move that amount from 10,000 in 2020 to 30,000 in here. What do you do with it? So let's take a look at it quadrant by quadrant, shall we? All right. If it does, just give me a shout there. Just type it in there. Proceed. All right. All right. Let's move on in here. So in this quadrant in here, STEC, right? STEC is a tech company. No, STEC is a framework. Okay, it's a framework. Now let's look at first, number one, the strategy. Now, no doubt where you're coming from, buy and hold. Does it work for you? What is your past experience with buy and hold? Can you buy public bank buy and hold? If you buy public bank for 10,000 ringgit, just buy everything 10,000 ringgit buy and hold. Does it work for you? How was your result been so far? So we're going to go back a bit of experience. And those of you who don't have experience buying 10,000 ringgit of public bank and just buy and hold, will it satisfy you? Again, I don't know. What is your plan there? Remember early on, the goal is to grow from 10,000, 20,000, and 20,000, 50,000. From 10,000 to 20,000, how long do you plan to get there? It's important to know that kind of time frame too. So the next one, we're going to be looking at market timing strategy. We always talk about Pentagon guided. Usually we hold it for 2 weeks to 2 months in here, right? And then what do you do to do diversification, right? Do you buy one shares or 2 types of shares, or you buy 10,000 ringgit, 10 types of shares inside here? Means you buy almost 10 shares inside here, not 10 unit, okay? 10 shares, 10 different names of shares inside, or you just buy one or you buy 2. Now, the audience who's listening now and those of you, just type it in there for 10,000 ringgit. How many shares would you buy? Just type it in there. It will be great to know. I'm going to give you the model answer in here. Maybe you have some opinion here. I'd like to hear that too. But definitely, what is the diversification in here? Then next thing is that you want to invest in growth stock or not. All right, now growth stock, buy and hold stocks are 2 different strategy in here. All right, and also we also talk about ETF, okay, exchange traded fund, in some of our earlier talks inside that. Exchange traded funds are usually more relevant in the case of the US market. We talk about SLK, SLV, okay, XLF and all those kind of things, which actually you're buying the index, right? And through that you can actually do a dollar average cost on the assumption it intends to go up. You want to buy low, buy high, buy low, buy high, and then in the way you are averaging yourself. And that, I think that's also one of the ways you're gonna. It is if you are just looking into long only. Okay, long only, the market in here, dollar averaging cost is also a good method. So work out what is the right strategy in here. Definitely for us, it's market timing, using the Pentagon in there and avoiding the market. I think it's also good, because that way, when the market is not so good, right, you avoid it, and when the market continue to fall, you don't go into that kind of slump feeling. We take care of your, what we call the right side of the emotion, the feeling of losing money one. That's a real issue in here. Okay, now let's move on to the next strategy that we have. Now next strategy is on tools, all right, the kind of tools that you need. All right, now like it or not, the most basic tools that you can have is our smart Robie apps here. All right, now don't take big risks if you cannot afford to lose. All right, so this next thing we're going to address is the capital in here. So usually the trading platform is important. You can have a UOB Kay Hian for the trade, you can be Rakuten, you can be CIMB, you could be from Hong Kong in here. Whatever platform that you have in Malaysia, I think it's pretty decent to say for that, right? Make sure it is a discount broker, because you're doing everything on your own. And then also the charting services. Do you have a full service, or is it some of these are not available? Of course, in our program here, in our thing, we always use TradingView, right? I think those of you who don't get an account in here, it's definitely for free. And very important, can you practice them? Now, how many of you actually do practice paper trading? Practice. All right, then the next thing we're going to do is instrument, the types of instrument that you can buy. Right now in the KLCI in here, the instrument that we really recommend are those with 10,000 ringgit, especially, right? You want to trade those with gearings, right? Because you want to have a bit of leverage. Now take note, in our Tuesday warrant, our live Facebook that we do every first Tuesday of the month. That's myself and my my guest speaker, Mr. Leong, coming from Macquarie in here. So we touch base on the gearing side. Now usually a lot of the call warrant, whether they are C, which means you want to buy long, P when you go long, and also warrant warrant of the parent company WA, that's the one you see in here, will give you leverage about 3 times, 4 times and 5 times. And you want to check out which are the one that is popular and that is liquid. So make sure you follow me on Warrant Tuesday every Monday. That's the one that will give you leverage, because the whole plan about each trade of that is try to make 20-30%, and sometimes if you're lucky you can make 100% return on that. With a $5,000 you can hit it very fast, but again, the risk go both ways. Okay, the risk go both ways, and this is why the instruments is important. So you want to be able to experiment with the structured product in here, because that will give you the leverage. Again, the goal going back to 10,000 ringgit, moving to 20, moving to 50. Then we go on to the VSA type penny shares. Okay, the VSA penny shares, this is where you need to do a bit of peg test. You need to understand what is volume spread analysis, and many of those you can watch it through our tutorial. SOS, SOW, and Zac always talk about no supply in here, and many of you have those no supply screener from our plugin here. Definitely will put you at the right edge. So you want to watch out for those and really look back on the left hand side of the chart. All right, right hand side is what's happening right now. Okay, that's good, but you want to look at the left hand side, because we don't want to simply hantam. Am I correct? You want to able to analyze it, able to put more study into it, and then really see, hey, this one has a good chance of making. Another way to look at it is, so during our stock comment and stock chart, especially in the Smart Robie Pentagon, there is Smart Robie actually do a back testing for you, and it will tell you the win rates. Okay, the win rates over going back to the last 8 trades, 20 trades, and how well they have done. So that is another way of using the Smart Robie in here. The penny shares definitely will give you an edge, and those are the instruments that will give you the kind of moving from 10 to 20, because we have a goal in there. And but thirdly is avoid trading futures. The reason why I say this, because for 10,000 ringgit, your amount is relatively too small for that one. 1 or 2 big hits, you need to top out again. So avoid those. I think the VSA type penny stocks and the structured products, structured warrants will be generally okay for the time being. All right, so we cover that. And do take note on the top side, don't take big risks if you are not prepared to lose it all. Okay, then just stick to the buy and hold stuff. You want to be buying some the banking stocks, especially now bank stocks are starting to move up. Now, third, we're going to talk about capitals. Okay, now capital in here, first thing you want to address on this one is can lose capital. Can lose capital versus emergency capital. Now, the 10,000 ringgit that we allocated upfront, I hope you are comfortable losing that amount. That shouldn't be your emergency capital. That's something you need to pay for your medical expenses, or this is something you need to top up for your family emergency fund or your parents fund or some sort of holiday fund. Don't. These are money that you can afford to lose. All right. Now, next thing is you want to look at the risk per trade. Now, we always talk about in risk manner, how much are you risking in there? Okay. So if you stand to lose this trade, what is the consequent amount, right? Don't just simply hantam and then you lose it. Especially those who need to trade forex, sometimes you can even lose more than the amount that you put in. Then next thing is how many shares. For 10,000 ringgit, how many shares can you buy? Generally 10,000 ringgit, if you ask me, most is 2 shares only. 2 types of shares, 5,000 each, 5,000 each, but we don't even recommend that. Actually, it only should be 1 shares. All right, if you follow our Pentagon trading strategy, our fixed rules says that ideally it's 30,000 ringgit divided into 4 trades. And I think we have done 1 trade which I'm going to share with you next that is starting to move up very nicely. All right. And then when to add and when to leave the amount. When do you stop trading? Again, we talk about this also in our masterclass. And those of you who come to our masterclass, we talk about the drawdown effect. How much is the drawdown effect? Where you want to leave and whether you want to come in again. So there are a few things, especially with the 10,000 ringgit. Remember, you are like a little small boat in the big ocean, so you need to watch out for more things. When you see a storm in front, you don't go after it, you try to avoid it. Okay, but like it or not, if you are untrained and unskilled, in many cases you will hit to your storms and then sometimes turn out to be not so good outcome. Okay, just keep in mind of all these things you should know. That's why it's important. We're going to give you a few recommendations what you can do to better make yourself more equipped. All right, and then lastly is what we call, the recommendation is education. All right, I don't really need to specific where you learn all your trading investing, but it's important you have a fixed agenda to the whole point about learning more, and that could be learning from other community. There are many Facebook blogs, there are other Sifu who teach you different methods. You can mix them, but do take note, especially when you're a beginner. Tendency you want to go to everywhere and listen. As long as free, you want to go and listen. Do take note of it. Sometimes you can get very confusing, right? Know the underlying of each methodology that is coming. What is it looking at? What is its strength? What is its weaknesses? Okay, and what is the track record? I think that's also important, whatever you learn inside there. A lot of people will come up with fancy full name, and also look at the educator and the community. Did it provide some sort of support? Very important. And then also another one is what we call a fail-safe environment, which means if you fail, can you come back again? Does it provide this kind of environment to do that? And also learning from other experiences, which is also important among the members that you have, the community, from the coaches and the expert. And then finally, practice. Is there a way you can practice all the trade? Just like any golfers or any tennis players, before they actually go out and compete, just like before you go and buy any stocks, do you practice them? I'm sure you do. It's just plain silly if you don't do that. Else is what we call a gambler mentality, and you won't last long enough. And then finally is what we call the emotional release. When you lose money, how do you release it? When you make money, how do you release it? I think that's also important. This is where our coach and our a so-called trainer can help you on a one-to-one individual, is how do you control your emotion. I think emotion has always been a really fair a challenge for many of you in here. Remember FOMO, fear of missing out, and that's where the emotional management is also important in there. All right, emotion matter. So those are the 4 framework STEC. Just keep that in mind. We're going to come back and review that too, STEC. Now let's look at the stocks that we talk about below 10,000 ringgit in here. Now definitely from our trading ideas and our Pentagon guided rules, we have entered DNEX. Okay, then there's also the hot sector. Let me just bring up the hot sector here. So now we're going to go down to the stocks. And also not to forget is our breakfast show today, our Smart Robie trending list, and our Pentagon idea, CIMB Bank, the Formosa, Panasonic industry seems to be in our list there. All right. Okay. Now let's go on to. Okay, let's go on to our next. Okay, let me just bring back this again. Okay, let's move on to our next section here. Okay, so remember, don't take risks if you are not, don't take big risks if you're not willing to lose it all. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the trading view chart here, and we're looking at some stocks inside here. So these are the best stocks under 10,000. So the first one would definitely be DNEX, which we actually bought it on the green pentagon. Okay, green pentagon here is DNEX, and you can see DNEX actually had a nice line change of 8.44% in here. That market started to go up, and then market started to go up. You could see this is where the market now starting to move higher. So this is a beginning of a move inside here. So a very nice one here for DNEX, right? And of course, if you go higher, be nice, right? Of course, you all can't see anything right now, but green pentagon, definitely this is the time to go in. Okay, it is still above the ATR stop loss and has no supply. So that is a very powerful method, as I said here before in here. You have to see enough to believe this, else by the time it starts to shoot up, then you will ask. Okay, so it's a lot about following, a lot about knowing how the setup is. Here you can see we have two line change in here after a long period of congestion, and there's some news behind the dagang net. I think many of you know that Foxconn is looking into buying a piece of DNEX. It hasn't been confirmed yet. There are still talks, so this is perhaps when the talk become finalized, it's time to sell. Remember, buy on rumors, sell on facts. Okay, that is usually the case that we always talk about in here. All right, let's go on to our next okay, just hang on a minute. Okay, let's go on to our next stocks that we have here is CIMB. Okay, now CIMB, from the beginning of the stock, you can see green pentagon, and we all know from the hot sectors earlier on, right? The hot sectors, let me just show you here. Move on to the next slide here. Okay, this is the next one, the hot sector. I'm going to come back to this here eventually. Hot sectors in here, you could see we have finance and technology, healthcare, utility, and consumer. So you can click on your smart Robie, you're able to pick this up. So very quickly in here, you can see CIMB started to move up already. So right, as you can see, this one is good. So right now, this one is definitely moving up very fast, and going up very good too. Okay, so this is the one that started to move up at 455 here. Let's take a look at another one, FPI, Formosa Pansonic. Right, again, this one is on a nice premium, nice Pentagon alert. You can see that, right? Pentagon guided in here, started to move up here, very nicely done. And this is going to be something cooking. I see this, we want to look at the chart setup, and that's looking very good. So those are the two other stocks that we have. Of course, there are other finance stocks. You can also look at RHP and technology. You can also look at any technology stocks you all have. But I'm going to show you something which I find very interesting. You can look at it in here. Is let's go back to my older slide here. Right, is this one here, just on top of me, is the RHP 20 Jewel in here. Now, a lot of the stock, small cap idea in here below the 10,000 fits very well. Now, if you look back from the track record they have, last year was a very good year. From 2020, they made about 101% return, and this was something that they released earlier on this year on the what we call the 4th of May. Okay, 4th of May they released this. So you can see right now this market seems to be put up. Now there are a couple of stocks inside here. You can take a snapshot of this one, very important. Construction, consumer, healthcare, industrial product, media, oil and gas, and technology. Now you want to make use of the Pentagon guidance whenever you come to this area here. All right, definitely when the market hits this point, right, the market hit here, right, using the green Pentagon. Now the question always go back, will I make money for 2021 like what they did for 2020? All right, now one way to do that is that by checking out the area that we have here, okay, the area that we have here, which is finance, technology, healthcare, and utility, that will pretty much give you the sectors you want to go in. So right now, using this, you can see consumer. Now go back to that one. We have what? Finance, right? Finance, they don't have finance, but they have technology. They have technology, because technology is number 2 right now. And then the next one is healthcare. We got solutions. Then we got consumer. So what you want to do is that taking the hot sector that you have there and match it to these stocks. Make sense? All right. That's how easy is it. So what we want to do is to take this and to match it up. So that very quickly we're gonna go through that, and you're able to pick up some of the great stocks below 10,000 ringgit. All right, the great stock below 10,000 ringgit here. So this is what. Let's take a look. Any one that you want me to look at? All right, let's take a look at the first one. Is in nature. Okay, in nature, LKL, let's look at LKL. LKL we'll look at it later, but let's look at the Jewel top 20 in here. In nature, okay. So in nature here, you can see right now is what? Green Pentagon. That's right, Green Pentagon. That's the one ready to move up. And so what do you want to do, right? That's a nice trade idea here. Green Pentagon in here for in nature. Okay, let's look at spread sale too. Right, just run through them and see which one you like. Okay, spread sale. And there is a spread sale just turn red Pentagon, so you want to avoid that one. Let's go over to healthcare solution. And this is again from the Jewel. Okay, and you can see, yes, solution continue to make higher, so that looks pretty good. But look at Emulus, interesting enough. Okay, Emulus. So Emulus also turned Green Pentagon. All right, check that one out here. All right, end-to-end. Okay, also turn Green Pentagon. So many of these stocks are already turned Green Pentagon here. So this is a point where you should, as I said before, going back to the STEC. What is your strategy here? Okay, your strategy here is what? Which one are you going to do? Buy and hold? Are you going to do Pentagon? Are you going to do what kind of risk management here? I presented those trade idea for you right just on top here. Those $10,000 and below. So you're able to piece them in, plan it out a bit, see what fits you. If not, at least give yourself a chance to practice it. I think it's also important for you to able to practice this. Okay, if you're not able to practice this, then you're going to come to a point where you will find it very, very difficult to really set out what you intend to do. I think that's also important. Okay, so does all this make sense? You like what the shares that you see so far tonight? Having some of the best Jewel effect in here, and also enjoying the Pentagon guided chart also. Okay, now if you do enjoy it, give me a thumbs up. All right, that's also important in here. All right, because we want to combine some of the best picked by a top Jewel 20, which in many ways they have a track record. Okay, they have a track record here, right? And so what is the track record here? 100% return so far from the past 2020 here, and right now we seems to be waiting for 2021 to come. Will we give that kind of result? And right now you have, of course, when we talk about the left brain and the right brain, there will always be this uncertainty, and we as trader must learn to cherish this uncertainty in here. Definitely looking right now, technology in healthcare would be that right keyword and key time frame to actually go in. All right, so if I want to say this 6 times, give me another thumbs up, and then we will go on to the next section. Okay, the next section which we have. The next section is what? You ready for the next section? Okay, if you are ready for the next section, let's go on to the US market. That's right. Now let's go on to the US market here. Right, we're going to be doing our demo. We already done all the demo in here. Now let's go on to the next section, which is the US market. Now from the US market, we're going to be looking at the hot sectors here. What is hot tonight? Okay, let's bring out our smart Robie this evening here. Okay, so you can see real estate, communication, technology, okay, and finance industrial is going to be good. I'm going to be switching also to my Tiger Broker. You can see my Tiger Broker ready to buy some of the stocks. So we're going to be looking at some stocks tonight to see what kind of stocks we can look at right now. And let's look at where is the market right now. Let's look at the US stocks. Okay, we got to look at the watch list. NASDAQ is up. Okay, let's look at the Dow Jones. Okay, I'll usually look at the Dow Jones. DJI, okay. So DJI is up 100 points here, so that's looking good tonight. Of course, we can also switch on to the here, our in here, and go to the S&P 500. We'll be looking at the market right now here. So the S&P 500, it's up 10 points so far. Okay, we got most active is NEO, right? We got AMD, NVIDIA up 1. So the tech stocks are back. You can see here the tech stocks are back. Decliner, NVR, Booking. Tesla is down. Ooh, Tesla is down 8%. Not so good. Chipotle is there. Okay, and MasterCard. So that somehow give you a flow of where the market is. And then we look at news and S&P 500. Okay, the news right now, it's very positive. You can see the news S&P 500. S&P 500 open modesty high, holding above 4,200 level in here. Aggressive breakout is on the way. Let's hope it is. And then we're able to look at some of the stocks that we have for you in here. So this is the platform where we're going to be doing some, after we find some good shares, we're going to be looking at this. Okay, so let's go through the share list that we have. All right, we've seen the hot idea. There's a lot of hot trade idea. Some trade idea from S&P 500. So we can also look at here. Let's take a look at some of those, which I think it's pretty good. And looking at the Pentagon Guider, of course. We'll take a look at Pentagon. So we got the, remember the oil sectors is getting very, very hot. We got the OXY. Okay, OXY here. And then we have the Marathon, American Express, okay, and Chevron CVX. But one of the stocks I like it earlier on is Occidental Petroleum, OXY. Let's take a look at OXY right now. Okay, OXY. OXY, you can see this one is making up new high. Today is up 1.73%. So that looks pretty good. We can buy it. What do you think? If you think you can buy it, just type it in there and we'll just go ahead and do it. I like this oil and gas stock. You can see, right? Long period of accumulation here. Right, you can see here breaking up just nice. Now if you look at our Malaysian one is going down, but this is actually moving up. OXY, okay, OXY in here. We can also look at other shares in here before we go and decided to buy it. So these are the list. You can, the finance stocks are back too. Some of these Goldman Sachs around 382. We don't want to do that. We want to have something cheaper a bit. Exxon Mobil is here. So this is XOM. Also breaking up, nice one in here, very similar. The oil and gas is breaking up. All right, so that tells you something. This one is moving here. Okay, let's go to the next section here. Okay, PST, another energy. See energy 1, energy 2, basic material, CF. Let's take a look at CF. Of course, you can also do the smart Robie here, but for me, I want to look at the real time. I think that is also good. Those of you who want to look at the real time, may want to subscribe to our plugin. They're able to see it real time. This is where we have CF in here. Of course, there is look at the other list. Okay, that we have is going back to here is our trending stocks. Okay, so we look at the trending stocks in here. Again, we got a lot of real estate that are doing very well. Vonado, Carrier, consumer cycle, NEO has started to move up. Let's take a look at NEO. Seems to be the been rated to a buy. You can see NEO is breaking up, but you got the old resistance in here from the green Pentagon, very nice, $36 to $42 here already. We got AMT, real estate, Boeing, Apache, APA. That is also the same list that I got here. You can see APA, Apache, NASDAQ. That looks good. Let's take a look at the chart. Okay. APA, Okay, starting to break up. That's very nice. APA looks good. All right, I like that one. Let's do APA. Okay, go in here, type APA Corporation, and you can see this is the same chart that we saw. All right, so what I want to do is I will probably switch to buy around here 23.30. Okay, 23.29. Okay, and how many quantity? I'm just going to buy maybe 1,000 US. Again, keeping to 10,000 US dollars, so 1,000 you can even trade a fair bit more here. So let me just get my calculator. In US, using Tiger Broker, it makes a lot of sense because it is a discount broker and you're paying only a minimum of $2. And those of you who want to apply for Tiger Broker, we have some information for you in here and to assist you going forward. Okay, 23.29, that will be 43 shares. Okay, put in 43 shares. And we want to, so you can see here, limit, of course you can't see it, let me just make it a bit smaller and push it to the side here. So you can see here, we want to buy limit 43 at 29 cents, and this is a day order. Okay, so just make sure it's a day order, and we hit that one. So I just key in my code. Right, I confirm 43 shares, 23.29 in here, that's about $1,000 in here, confirm, it goes in, yep, that's it. Okay, limit order has been submitted. So we submitted. We're just going to wait for the of course you can also switch this to what we call 30-minute chart. You can see much better in here. So 23.29, somewhere is going to be down here. Hopefully the market will come and touch me a bit and start them out. So that's already one share we put in for Apache APA. Right, and why I bought that one. Okay, let's review through why I bought that one, and let me just bring up the chart here. So you can see this, if you stretch it out in here, we got strength in here, we have that market moving sideways, right, and then the market seems to break out, and it's a NASDAQ stock, so it's a technology stocks. Of course there are probably some news we can see, so we can go on to our smart Robie here and see whether there's some news. APA, oh, it's an energy stock. Okay, Apache. I thought Apache, it sounds like, you know, some technology, but apparently it's oil and gas. And we all know oil and gas, it seems to be hot right now, right? Looking from the hot sectors. Okay, so we just wait for that one. You can see hot sectors is the real estate in here, and oh sorry, the oil and gas hasn't come in yet, but we have seen some of the energy sectors are really moving up in here. So I do see potentially energy will come in, but definitely we want to see the chart and then only trade from there. All right, my order has been filled. All right, you can see here the order 43 has been filled successfully, and that's great. You can see, right? So that's how simple is it. One trade is filled, and usually you can put in the target profit in here. We want to do, we're probably going to just leave it a bit for, right, and see the old high. Where is the old high here? All right, old high. Oh no, is this the all time? Yeah, you got the old high here around what, $26, 20, yeah, maybe on the old high here, or probably just use APA. There is a profit target there. Okay, APA, yeah, APA target 24.39. All right, okay, let's go to APA. Okay, let's go to the exit strategy here. Okay, I'm still waiting for the response light. Sometimes the internet here, it's hot, that's why we get this. Okay. Okay, here it goes. 5 day, okay, it's 5 days to 2 weeks. Median target price is $24.39. May not be, unless it's a pullback trade, a lot more interesting in here. Okay, let's take a look. Apache just turned green pentagon. Okay, just turned green pentagon only. Okay, so you can see, let's look at the stock chart right now. Okay, so you can see here, yep, just turn green pentagon in here. Okay, there's a win rate of, can you see that? Okay, let me just bring this up again. You can see Apache has a win rate of 71.4% with the green pentagon since 7 backtests. And this is what we talk about, the intelligence of the smart Robie. Yeah, so it is smart enough to see this backtesting that you see here. Then we are able to know whether it is worthwhile or not. So you can see from there. So we have done that trade, and now so what we want to do is park our profit target. We went in at what price? Okay, let's take a look at what price we got in. It was filled at 23 something. Okay, 23.29. Okay, let's take a look at my order. Okay, my order was filled at 43. Okay, look at the details. 23.29. Okay, we if you look at the profit target in here, we have 24.39. Okay, so we can put in 24.39 for our profit target. So let's put in so it will be sell, okay, 43. Okay, and what price is that? 24.40. Okay, 24.40. It's a GTC. Okay, and we allowed that, and we just press sell. Okay, so here you can see right on top me here, we are selling. Okay, 24. This is for 24.40, 1049.20 cents. I know we're taking a $50 US dollar profit. Of course, as it gets there, we can actually make sure it rises higher too. Of course, if it go higher, we can put up. But that is for the time being, putting the medium profit target in here. As the market go higher, or usually what I do, I'll just run it until I see a red pentagon, or I put it a bit high. But for tonight, for this exercise, just to show you, I put it in there. I confirm. You can see this list here. The order is been submitted, and right now you have this 43 shares been submitted. Okay, so this is how you actually do the US market, just APA. We've done one trade here. Of course, there are many other trades. Let me just close this up, right, and switch this back here again. All right, so you can see here there are other trades that I have. All right, Transocean, you can take this out. Trox, EOG, Kaiser, and APA. Now, one of the things what I like about APA is the energy stock is coming in here, right? Energy stocks. Second is the US recovery. It's also coming in here. It's also part of the S&P 500 in here, and the setup is good. And then it's a small trade, a small risk. As the market started to go up in here, I may want to ride it more, right? And that's how we do. We make small profit along the way, and we go from here. All right. So that's pretty much the trade idea under 1,000 US dollar. We just did one trade, 1,000 US dollar. So this is a trade you want to be in now. Of course, better all overall is to use the $3,000 trade here, but I just want to show you this exercise is just good. You just use a 1,000 US dollar to trade this, which is a fairly good size because the brokerage, it's very reasonable with the Tiger Broker. All right, so this is the list that you have. Of course, let me just recap this and how I find that stock. So going back to here, I was going back to the premium alert. Okay, hit this one here. I was looking for some shares which fits my timeline. So what I did was I hit the trending stocks. Okay, so the trending stocks, yep, the trending stocks is here. Okay, so this is the trending stocks. I was looking for some sort of energy. You can see energy is up there, and I want to buy something which is not too expensive. You notice the others are $160, $254, because the smaller the stock price, the more quantum of percentage winning that you get here. All right, so you get NEO also, but NEO already started to run. It's just that APA started to go there. Of course, next thing you want to do, there's only about a list of 12. Go through them. Even HES, HEIS, you can use that one as a stocks in here. All right. Now, I want to not take too much of your time. I know many of you still need to go to work despite of the lockdown, but I hope you enjoyed tonight the US trading session in here. And this is the stock list that we have for the US market here. All right. So we've done the plugin in here. Now we want to sort of conclude how to avoid what we call the self-defeating actions. Okay, why sometimes we beat ourselves here. Of course, you've seen how I do that trade was so much easy to do it, because I've been practicing a lot. I've been doing this for many years. You could see I can do that. So why is this that we have a chance? All right, now let's take a look at it. So first of all, we want to come up with the trader readiness checklist. Okay, so the readiness checklist is, first of all, do you know how much you're risking? I definitely know how much I'm risking. I know where my stop loss is. My stop loss just below the ATR stop loss in here. Is the share in the trend? Yes, the energy is beginning to come in the trend. We have the Pentagon in there. And what's my location value to Pentagon guidance? Just turn Pentagon only. All right, so you can see there. And do I know where to exit? If I'm right, yes, $24 is the, well, of course I can also let it run. When I'm wrong, I'll put my stop loss just below the ATR stop loss. And what happens if you move sideways? What should I do? All right, so when you move sideways, if it doesn't hit my ATR stop loss, I'll probably leave it a time being, and then holding period is only 2 weeks to 2 months. You can see from that stock. So that is the readiness checklist that you have. And do I have a plan? Do I want to follow it? Yes, indeed. All right, so that's how you want to do this trading plan in here. Now, a lot of time, many of us we never go through a proper way of trading. As again, going back to what we call the self-learning, as well as learn what we call a train trader and train investor. A lot of time we are like this guy, like the cartoon. We stand on this edge of the tree and we cut ourselves. Right? How many of you actually got into this kind of situation? If you have, just type 4. I really want to gauge your the level that you all have. Right? How many of you actually got into this? There are a couple of we're going to go to the Q&A later. All right, so try not to get into this self-defeating thing in here. And 10K, it's a very expensive lesson if you can't do it right, that what I've just done inside there for APA. So what we're trying to do is that if you have a choice between 1 and 2, which will you be? All right, type in your answer. You want to be a small boat where you have a big wave coming behind you, or you're on a cruise liner, everything all prepaid. And those of you who've been to a cruise liner like I've been before, you will know, definitely, you don't want to be on a small boat, as much as it is, unless, it is run by very well experienced captain, the crews are good. Other than that, I would never go to number 1. Number 2 is my choice up there, right? I think it's very similar. You all make the right. Now, success in trading for 2021 is a lot going to be a process that you don't want to give up, and you will continue to do. And you can see our coach and our mentor continue to push. And also here is a comment from one of our masterclass student in here, Jess, and he's actually trading the Pentagon guided system in here. You could see found a system that worked well, and our support. I think that's what the story I want to share with you. Mentoring is important, and that we want to really fast track it, so life become more efficient. Just like you're on the cruise ship, you're doing it. Everybody seems to have a system and the process in here, rather than that little boat on the sea. When that big wave come, your $10,000 also gone. All right. So meanwhile, training and knowledge is important. If you're going to do it yourself, make sure you have a program where you self-study, you self-teach. You are the coach, you are the sifu. Everything is yourself. All right. That is the way. And then come up with a proper plan. Do 1, do 2, 3. I think that is what we call self-study. Your process will be slower. Definitely, you'll make more mistakes. Maybe more than 10,000 ringgit, but that is a choice we all have to do. When I first started that, doing self-learning, I bumped into make a lot of mistakes. Not until I had my Sifu, Tom, and Bill were mine, and also many other Wyckoff Sifu, and also my fundamental Sifu, that I able to go through this much quicker. And that's one of the reasons why I really want to share with you in here. Our next intake will be in 2 more weeks, which is our 3-day course. Some of you want to know more information, and that's definitely oncoming in here definitely you want to know more. And also we have a special for this month, and these are the things that we talk about in here. Perhaps you can talk to my guy Zac, will fill you up on what are the plugins, the things that you see, the courses that we talk about, the framework, the STEC, something that we already share with you. You can definitely use that one and plan out what you want to do on yourself. If you don't want to and want us to help you, definitely this program is for you. And this evening we have our coaches stand by, ready to go through you. We have Zac, Arif, which is constantly always on the Facebooks during this MCO 3.0. They are here with you every day in the afternoon session, going through, especially Zac, and also Arif with you yesterday with that one. And through that, when you do, you learn much faster, and that 10,000 ringgit will come in more handy in here. So right now we have an offer. This is from 1st of June to 8th of June, just 6 more days inside here. You get extra month, 2 months and 3 months, offer 1 and offer 2. So check it out in here. The numbers, you want to find out more information for our combo plan, definitely in there. If not, we continue to share with you our STEC. Use it, plan it up nicely, and you have some sort of a chance to succeed. Of course, the growth screener, we also have you how to invest in growth screener. Those of you who want to invest, and also you get a copy of this in here, and people are saying good things about our trade VSA. We'll continue to maintain a very high standard in here. Right, and those of you who wanted to open up a Tiger, whether a Tiger broker or a Malaysian US broker, in my case it was a Tiger broker, definitely, this is a number that you can text, and we can definitely give you more information on this one. Online discount, and you get 1,000 free credit upon successful opening and deposit too. So check this out in here very quickly. And of course, we are coming to our end of our thing. For more details on our combo plugin, our specials, getting the extra, that's a number you want to text in here. And right now I want to review some of your questions that you all have, and those of you who think that we did a good job, please go over to the Google My Business, and that's a QR code on the right hand side in here, and give us a review, so we will continue to upgrade our delivery and our method to you, so you will benefit, just like the STEC and the trader checklist that you could use. All right, so that's what we hope to do, and at least the last 1.5 hours that you're with me, and I really enjoy your presence, and I hope you all learned something this evening in here. And don't forget, this coming Saturday, it's a longer workshop that we do, 2 hours, how to achieve above average return. All right, we're going to be doing a lot of exercises that will get you into the right time frame there. All right, and we want to make sure that you're on the right path. If you have 10,000 ringgit, moving to 10 to 20,000, and going from 20 to 50,000 in there, and go through that STEC framework, that will give you some sort of assurance that you will get there, being part in the agenda of what we call the train trader and train investor. Okay. Now there are a couple of questions here. Oil and gas, yes. Stephen Shaw, in US, can you buy 1 share? You can buy 1 share. If you can buy some of the 200, like Tesla share, $600 US. It is in a way, because of the cost of transaction that I'm doing with Tiger Brokers lower. Even if you buy 1 share, is both 600 or 700 US dollar. The amount of points or amount of percentage that goes up is very, very similar too. It makes it more economical too. Yep. Okay, looks like we did have a very, very good response from all of you today. And if you have any more question in here, of course, our number just on top in here. If you want to know more information about our STEC, our programs, and some of the stocks you want me to review it, feel free to put it in there. If not, I'll catch you guys on Friday morning. If not, this coming Saturday. And do join us for this Saturday for our masterclass course preview, which we'll talk about more in our upcoming June intake, which many of our masterclass members who have signed up can continue and come back and re-attend. That is definitely one of them will benefit, because we really want to coach you and mentor you to push you to the next level in here. And really, thank you for really coming tonight in here. We hope that you all have a good, enjoyable week, and stay alert, stay safe during this MCO 3.0 here. And definitely, if we can help you in any way to chart your path for better 2021, do let us know. We are ready to help. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on this coming Saturday for our workshop. Make sure you register in our Zoom in here for achieving above average return for 2021, and see you. Good night. And don't forget to give us a review on our Google Play Store. That's the one on the right hand side. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming.